Mr Smith, for your point of order. The Chair is actually quite right, because I deliberately stopped speaking. I deliberately stopped speaking because I wasn't prepared to speak into that barrage of criticism, because the Labour Party speakers seem to have their heads in the sand. The last time I rose, I raised the issue that claims paid by the ACC had increased by 57% over the last 4 years. 57%. Let me make that clear to the opposition. That's from $2.2 billion a year to 3.6. Now, the government's got a choice. It either addresses that issue or it continues to see claims go up at 12% per annum until the country's broke. And this government is far more responsible. But, Mr Speaker, I want to come to the issue of the rating of employers and the levies that they pay, because one of the points that Ruth Dyson raised in her earlier speech is she said I wasn't actually addressing the Part 1 of the bill. Well, the Part 1 of the bill makes it quite clear, makes provision for employers to be rated on their claims history, on their ability to prevent accidents. We currently have a rating system where different classes of employment attract different rates. So someone naturally involved in a very passive job, like sitting in a clerical job, may be paying, say, $1 per $100 worth of earnings, or maybe 50 cents per $100 worth of earnings, and someone in a much more riskier industry. It could be forestry, where there's a lot of saws and falling timber, far more dangerous occupation, far more dangerous industry, pays a much higher rate. And what this bill makes provision, sir, it makes provision to rate employers within a particular industry differently, based on their claims experience. Sir, it creates something that's very, very important, and that's incentive. It's actually very important to get the incentives right. And so clearly, sir, let's take someone working in the sawmilling industry, employing people going out there with chainsaws and cutting timber down our forests. If they are able to instil in their employees better safety standards, better procedures, so they can actually achieve a much lower rate of accidents for that particular industry, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you reward that employer? Why wouldn't you create the incentive? So the employer is incentivised to do whatever they can to reduce the rates of accidents. From the employer's point of view, Mr Speaker, from the employer's point of view, they have the advantage of being able to reduce the levies they pay for ACC. But more importantly, sir, if it reduces accidents, isn't that really what we should be trying to do? We should actually be trying to reduce accidents. And what we've had from the opposition this afternoon is a barrage of criticism in respect of reforms that are sorely needed. The Minister made it very clear that the rate of injuries, or the rate of accident prevention, has actually worsened in the last 8 or 9 years. And I come back again to the fact that in 1999, when the last Labour government was elected, premiums were some 30% lower, and rather than allowing employees and employers to continue to have choice, to continue to have competition, to drive down those rates, sir, the Labour government came in with a policy of abolishing that choice, and we've seen the consequences. New Zealand has seen the consequences. And yes, entitlements are being reduced in this bill, sir, and they're being reduced because, quite frankly, the country simply can't afford them. This country simply can't afford them, because you can increase claims at 12% per annum. You can do it for 1 year, you can do it for 4 years, but you can't do it indefinitely, sir. So what this government doing is, sir, is introducing mechanisms to create the right incentives.
Call Darian Fenton.